Welcome back to Muris, the world of mice, crickets, shrimp, and bees. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for the support in the year 2024. And this year, I hope to make it to 1,000 subscribers. Muris, the world of mice, is a seed world. A seed world is an alien world seeded with Earth life by an intelligent life form. In the last episode, we saw the savannas and prairies of Ostera. In this video, we are going to explore the northernmost continent, Solas, during the Ringless Age. The northern biome of the northernmost continent is the winter pines, a pine forest that spans half the continent. It is covered in ice and snow during the winter and fall, but it melts when spring comes around, rushing into the plains. An expert tracker and relentless predator, the thermalynx, watches the forest. Like their Snow King ancestors, they have sensitive organs above the nose that sense heat, allowing them to see their warm prey in the snow with deadly accuracy. These predators hunt mid-range game, and their large ears, eyes, and thermal sensors to hunt prey. They live in dens that they make out of snow and dirt, and they keep their young in while they hunt. Their saber teeth allow them to bite the neck of larger creatures for an easy kill. When summer hits and the snow melts, the thermalynx's winter coat falls off, revealing a brown undercoat. They use this during early spring, where they stock up on small creatures and easy kills. The thermal pits do not work during the summer, and the creature fails to hunt. Thus, it has evolved to hibernate, not in the winter, but in the summer. The most common herbivore in the winter pines is the Lumberhead, an axe-head descendant that has become more blunt and aggressive. They have strong skulls and necks for ramming. Males will fight each other for females during battle, similar to that of a ram, headbutting each other with the top of their axe horns. During spring, they will knock down trees the same way they fight each other, by ramming into it. This allows them to use their horns to cut into trees and extract sap. When spring comes around, they'll use the extra nutrients from the sap to make the male's coats and throats more vibrant for the mating season. Slowly meandering through the pines is the large Scara Grizz. This bear-sized bee is a not-so-gentle giant. They are scavengers who eat any who disturb them. They use their strong mandibles to break bones and eat the marrow inside. They are stout creatures, typical of the cold, but when they rear up on their hind legs, they can intimidate smaller scavengers like bone wolves away from their kills and corpses. Arthropods do not tend well to the cold. Thus, the Scara Grizz has heavily adapted to the cold climate, their large size and fur heating them well. They have also evolved reduced antennae to fend off the cold. After a meal, or when it is very cold, the Scara Grizz will find an open area to bask like a lizard. While this happens, they open up their hardened wings to absorb heat like a solar panel. The ghillie dog is a predator with unmatched camouflage. They've evolved bone spurs on their back that are coated in keratin that appear much like the woodgrass of the pines. These spurs also allow them to hold sticks, rocks, and moss. Aided by their adhesive sweat, they use these items to lay unseen by their prey. The ghillie dog is a descendant of the bone mimic. However, it does not need a skull. Instead, mothers give birth to 2 to 3 pups and leave to hunt once more. These pups must scavenge on their own immediately from birth. The apex predator of the pines is a relentless brawler. It is not keen on hunting. It is not keen on stalking. It is keen on a fight. This crown thief is a chitin thief descendant that has migrated through Viras to the north. Its armor and large size allowed it to take the niche of apex predator from the Snow King, hence the name Crown Thief. The Crown Thief is a Titan hunting specialist, as its heavy armor allows it to take blows from the deadly horn of said Titans. They have also evolved a mane that allows their head to have more warmth. They hunt their prey, Titans, by lunging at them and ripping chunks out. Then, after a few attempts, they go into a frenzy. They chase the Titan, and if the Titan runs, they attempt to demobilize it. After a successful hunt, the Crown Thief will eat as much of a Titan as it can, then hibernate for an entire month. This allows them to not overhunt Titans, as Titans take a long time to grow. The Great Titans of the North are massive, almost 18 feet tall. They've evolved to be so big, nothing can touch them. When they reach adulthood, only a Crown Thief is capable of harming them. They have evolved a very large throat sac that allows them to communicate with other members of their loose herd from miles away. They use their extremely long necks to eat the top pines of the pinewood trees. They've evolved downward-facing horns to attack crown thieves who try to attack them. The bone wolf is another descendant of the bone mimic. It is very similar, but better in every way. They are typically larger and have longer legs, allowing them to encircle corpses and competitors. They occasionally hunt a lumberhead or two if they're desperate for food. The bone wolves have eliminated any use of smaller forms due to the lack of small creatures in the pines. They've also evolved larger ears to detect predators and swoop in on their kills. They've also evolved a crest on their back that allows them to communicate with each other, flaring for danger. South of the snowy pines is the vast North Viren Plains. While its southern counterpart is dominated by crickets, this prairie has a diverse array of creatures that inhabit it. The apex predator of these plains is a creature known as the Manacor. This close relative of the Scara Grizz went in the opposite direction. It has become a cursorial hunter. Its legs are so strong it's able to reach running speeds of 65 miles per hour. It has a very long tail that has evolved to shoot stingers. To achieve this, the stingers are shaped like a wishbone, the last segment of the tail housing multiple of them. They are given paralytic venom from a large gland in the tail. Then, muscles inside the tail compress, and the pseudo-elastic stinger slides out and releases from the tail, flying through the air and injecting prey with a paralytic venom for an easy kill. The Manticore has also evolved large armor-piercing mandibles, as many creatures in the plains have evolved armor. A close relative of the ghillie dog, the death dog has evolved its bone spurs into a serrated tail with a bony scythe at the end. Like their bone wolf cousins, they have become more agile and cursorial. They hunt in packs of about a dozen, hunting small, unarmored prey like the Kriebuk. They also scavenge quite often. While hunting, they use their tails to cut and grab prey, like that of a cavalier's spear hook. The death dogs have also evolved a mane that helps to contrast the skull, allowing them to identify individuals while on the hunt. Island hopping from the southern plains, the Kriebuk is a small species of unicorn that has found success away from the heavy competition in the south. They are slim but very fast, rivaling even the Manticore in speed. They mob in groups to avoid Byrne Titans at all costs, which they compete for the many grasses that are abundant in the plains. When threatened, male Kribuks may charge at their enemies with their horns lowered. This behavior is the most common death for manticores and death dogs. The main herbivore of this domain is another titan, the Byrne Titan. This creature roams in herds of 6 to 8, eating grass and singing to one another. They must eat copious amounts of grass to sustain their armor. That was not evolved, but given. The armor plates, excluding the head, are made up of creatures known as Titansko Bugs. Small crickets that feed off the Buren Titan's blood, in return giving it armor, a symbiotic relationship. However, when a Buren Titan dies and creatures go and eat its corpse, the Skute Bugs attach to a new host. Scavengers that have no need for armor. This turns the bug into a parasite, feeding off its blood. Here, we see a death dog attempting to remove a Titan Skute Bug with its tail. Due to the recent split of the Viren continent, many volcanic islands formed in their wake, spewing ash and lava into the sky. One large island in the north had a large eruption. This lobbed lava all over the northern plains. The lava becoming large volcanic boulders that dot the landscape. Some of these boulders aren't boulders at all. The boulder colossus is a large shore colossus descendant that has evolved to look like a boulder. It is completely terrestrial due to its legs and swimmerets becoming limbs, allowing it to slowly walk on land. They lay dormant, pretending to be a boulder until prey approaches. Then it uses its barbed tendrils to ensnare its prey and swallow them whole. Armor is a common theme among the creatures of these plains. The Glypto is no different. This pig-sized creature has strong chitinous armor to defend against predators. It is a close relative of the crown thief. They split off, becoming more omnivorous. It eats grass, tubers, small insects, and the occasional carrion. Since they are small, they have many predators. Their main defense is to tuck all their limbs under their body and lower their head, looking like a turtle. One species of Mictus has become more fossorial than any of its predecessors. This creature is known as the Plain Searcher. Because it roams the plains all night looking for any kind of food and spends all day digging for insects and worms. It's evolved a protective layer of skin on their ears that allows their ears to not get any dirt in them. They've also evolved elongated whiskers along their face and tail. Plain searchers use their tails to search for danger outside of their burrows without fully leaving. It is also helpful to detect collapsing tunnels. The main predator of the plain searchers, as well as many small young creatures, the grass Verg is a close relative of the den raider. They are slender with 2 fins turned into hooks for locomotion. Their preferred hunting style being swallowing. They've also evolved to slither like a snake to better move in the grass. Their striped patterns make them go unnoticed by larger creatures. Thank you so much for all the support in the last year. Have a good day, and goodbye. You are accused of putting no bees in last episode. How do you plead? It was an accident. I put 2 bees in this episode.
That is not enough.
He must add 10 bees to next episode, or he will be
Executed.